Don Le Batard.
Is Mick Jagger a sex iguana? 73% of the audience said yes.
Yeah! That's a victory for the show!
Stugotz.
Mick Jagger, sex iguana!
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. TJ Miller going to join us. I'm rattled because of what's coming up here in a second. You'll realize why in a second. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. TJ Miller going to join us in just a second here on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. He's with the hit show Silicon Valley. All right, everyone hang on. I am so furious at Mike and Roy right now. So furious.
Mina Kimes is in with us, but she will be here with us this hour. Delighted to have her.
All right. Hang on, Mina.
All right, hang on.
Second round of the U.S. Open is underway. Ricky Fowler is your leader at 7 under par. He tees off just after 2:30 Eastern. Gedevis Vainkunis, president of Lithuanian professional basketball team BC Lietuvos Rytas, has sparked controversy after attributing his team's struggles to having too many black players.
Oh, for the love of God.
According to FIBA.com writer Simonis Barnukakis.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Barnukakis.
Okay, very good.
Barnukis.
Yeah.
It's not good.
And finally,
Oh, no.
a recent survey done by Amerisleep suggests perfectly happy people get 7.1 hours of sleep per night. Mostly happy people get 7 hours of sleep, and somewhat happy people get 6.9 hours of sleep per night. Nice, however.
Per night.
You know what, Dan? I don't care anymore.
Okay.
If you get less than 6.8 hours of sleep, it means you're completely unhappy. Show constant worry and never display a shred of gratitude.
What?
Looks like I'm getting less than 6.8 hours.
All right.
Gentlemen, hurry into JCPenney and raise your game with 50% off suit separates and dress shirts designed by Michael Strahan. So, boy, I get up to 40% off MSX activewear, including big and tall. Save even more with a coupon for $10 off when you spend $25 or more on select items. That's getting your pennies worth. JCPenney. Bleep you, Mike. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to the Sports Center on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
This guy must be wondering what he's walking into. What an amateur hour. This guy's at the height of comedy.
Yeah. I'm sure this guy can pronounce all that.
This guy is at the height of entertainment. TJ Miller, stand-up special. TJ Miller, Meticulously Ridiculous, premieres this Saturday, 10 p.m. on HBO. You've seen him in Deadpool. He's the bartender. You've seen him, as Stugotz said, Silicon Valley. Get him to the Greek. What is the proudest thing? Thank you for joining us, by the way, TJ. What would you say is the thing on your resume you're proudest of?
Nina, Stugotz, I'm here in Michael Strahan activewear.
Yes, very good. That's what you're wearing right now.
From
Sexy.
JCPenney. I'm absolutely excited to be on the program. This may very well be the best thing on my resume, this interview.
Right here.
So I'm
Okay.
looking forward to it. I mean, I think, look, everything that people think is funny, I'm very, very pleased about. So I guess there's that, yeah. I really like She's Out of My League, and I think I'm going to love Office Christmas Party because they're great hangover movies. They're great. They're just gag-driven comedies. And people love those because you can just tune in, relax, and laugh. And that's kind of my entire, modus operandi.
TJ, this is Mina. I actually watched Office Christmas Party on a plane recently, and I cried at the end. Was that your intention with that role?
Nina, this is TJ. Yeah, I wanted you specifically to cry, not America, not the world, not plane-going audiences, but I wanted you, Nina, to just have a good long cry because we all need one right now, So I'm glad that happened. Yeah, I mean, that was, somebody said last night, it was my wife's birthday, we had a party over here, and somebody said, well, that was like you. Finally, you were playing a sweet guy who kind of wants everybody to have a great time instead of this blowhard, arrogant jerk who's saying this and that and, insulting someone just like Weasel does to Deadpool. That's not really what I'm like. I'm a fan of comics, so I know how to do that. But finally, I was able to play this character that was just like a good dude who only cares about other people's great time. So I'm glad you laughed along with it. And yeah, I wanted you, Nina, to cry, not the rest of the world,
right?
Just you.
TJ, this is Dan. You were a circus acrobat, or you were training to be a circus acrobat, or what was that? What was that all about?
Dan, this is TJ. Circus, because I thought every single medium of comedy deserves the same amount of attention. And so, yeah, I am a trained clown.
Did we lose him?
I mean, even get on a trapeze, much less do anything on it. But I'm very good at stilt walking, which is a lost art for me.
Wow.
You're very good. When's the last time you had to stilt walk? When's the last time you did that?
Hello?
Did we lose you? When's the last time you did stilt walking?
It's been a while, because I learned on European stilts, and they only have American stilts here. also, I'm already kind of a fairly tall individual, so I feel good about the height that I'm sort of seeing everything. Much taller would be both intimidating and very awkward, especially in New York City. I think people would be like, "Stop stepping over me." It's like bad luck.
I can imagine.
Like a ladder.
TJ, this is Mina. I'm a huge Silicon Valley fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. You're still there. And like many fans, I was very upset by the news that your character isn't returning. I even said, it's my favorite comedic character since Kenny Powers. I'm personally devastated. So I have to ask, well, there's a question of why, but also were you surprised by the outsized reaction to the news?
And also, TJ, you seem to be causing Mina a great deal of emotional turmoil.
Yes.
I'm just trying to establish my fan credibility here.
Yeah, Dan, this is Stugotz. It's Nina. Yes. Okay, so I'd like to jump back to my stand-up special, Meticulously Ridiculous, which is on HBO starting Saturday. Get into it. But I'd like to read a section of a review of my stand-up special, which will answer your question,
okay.
Nina.
All right, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Saturday. 10 p.m. Saturday, HBO.
TJ, it's Kevin. So the Sioux City Journal didn't quite get it. The internet's not great here, so I'll just tell you. The special is a mix of absurdism, observation, personal stories, all that kind of stuff. It's really a fun smorgasbord of confusing elements. But I am an absurdist, and so someone at the Sioux City Journal believes, because I say in my act at one point, last year I spent $73,000 on carnival games alone. And he said somewhat of...
Hold on a second. Did we lose you? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's gather ourselves here. And he's just selling his special, by the way. He hasn't even come close to answering Mina's question just yet. Do we have him back on the line, or do we lose him? I really like this guy. I mean, he doesn't take much of anything seriously. So it sounds like Mina's a bigger fan than anybody is of.
He's hilarious. The show is maybe my favorite show on television right now. So I will be watching his special. He did not have to sell it to me.
Yes. Meticulously Ridiculous premieres this Saturday, 10 p.m. on HBO. Are we giving up on it because we're up against it?
I think we're better off trying to get him next segment and bringing him back.
All right,
we'll just be quick with him.
All right, let's see if we do that. We'll try that next.
Dan Batard.
Give me the musician that John Oates right now would pay top dollar because he has to see that musician.
Chuck Berry.
Stugotz.
Okay. Yeah, well, we can't do that.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So TJ Miller's stand-up special, TJ Miller, Meticulously Ridiculous, premieres this Saturday, 10 p.m. on HBO. I interrupted you. We interrupted you. Phone lines interrupted you. So what happened, TJ? You were in the middle of telling us the Sioux City Journal accused you or took seriously you saying that you spent $73,000 on carnival games last year?
Yes, and apologies. I think the call dropped. I dropped my phone. I'm in the Michael Strahan activewear, and I suddenly had to jog. but the Sioux City Journal took seriously, they say, and I pulled up the article, when he lampoons himself as star of Yogi Bear 3D, which I have never made a joke about. That is the greatest talking bear comedy in the history of American cinema. He says he's much better off. Miller admits he spent $73,000 last year on carnival games, a bit of an insight into his tendencies. Similarly, he talks about being a burp farmer, and you can imagine where that winds up. So they really believed that I spent $73,000. Now, I play carnival games. They cost between $1 and $3. It's not physically possible that you'd have to play 26,000 carnival games. Am I traveling, Mina? Am I following carnivals? Am I spending 12 to 16 hours at carnivals, throwing the balloons, trying to get rid of the star using the BB gun? Am I doing that? Trying to spend 73. So the special's not for everybody. But to answer your question, Mina, which in Castellano, the Argentinian version of Spanish, Mina means gold mine or the most beautiful woman, most perfect woman. Look how incredible she is.
Wow.
I mean, he knows Spanish, and he wasn't lying there. I think the second part was a little exaggerating, but it does mean gold mine.
It does mean gold mine, but that's slang for like, dice esto, Mina. That's where I left Silicon Valley because I had to keep playing carnival games.
Okay, there it is. All right, you brought it back around.
Man.
You brought it back. So you're not a bird farmer.
No, I mean, I'm bird farming a little bit on the weekends. We have a small bird farm in the backyard of our house, but it's really the carnival games that are taking up the time. I mean, $73,000. I have to be, that penny where you try and get the penny on the plate? That, I mean, you only spend a couple pennies each round. That takes hours to spend even, $100. So I had to leave the television show because I need more time to play carnival. Yeah.
Didn't you almost die? Not to go on a down note, but during
here we go.
During the Yogi Bear filming, didn't you greatest what was it? Talking bear comedy in the history of American cinema?
Yeah. See, you get it. Mina, it's TJ. I was serious about the gold mine. Yes, absolutely. During Yogi Bear, my brain hemorrhaged, and I began to go physically insane. But all that being said, I think the film is the greatest talking bear. Well, you just said it. But yeah, sure. I mean, a little bit. Don't we all go crazy at work a little bit? Don't we have those? My brain was bleeding and I was close to death or insanity permanently. But we all have those days at work where we're going, I hate Mondays. My brain is bleeding.
It's not the same thing at all. It's not.
We've all said that. Don't talk to me until I get my coffee. My brain is bleeding and I'm physically going insane. We've all done it. Everyone's listening.
All right, so the stand-up special, T.J. Miller, Meticulously Ridiculous, premieres this Saturday, 10 p.m. on HBO. You should watch it because he's really funny. What was your big...
I don't think so.
You don't think they should watch it, or you don't think you're really funny?
I think both.
Okay. What was your big break?
It happened years ago when I did the major motion picture Yogi Bear 3D. I don't understand why people kind of haven't wrapped their mind around that, but that everyone has a zenith, a pinnacle of their career, right? We all have that. Okay, that was it for me. So all of this has been a downward slope, just to spiral into irrelevance. And look, Transformers 4, yes, big, internationally, $1 billion. But that's just the downfall of the greatest ranger in any Yogi Bear comedy that's ever been made. And I would say that to Hanna and Barbera, but I think they're the same person.
We got to let you go.
I want to keep you forever.
Yeah, you got to come back, though. Again, Meticulously Ridiculous.
I love
TJ Miller. Check him out Saturday, 10 p.m., HBO.
Talk to you Monday, TJ?
Yeah, we need to talk to you again. We need to talk to you more. So we'll
Let's
talk.
do it in studio next time. I'll bring balloons. There will be too many, hundreds of balloons. It'll be a real problem.
All right, great.
And you'll sort of be thankful, but you'll also be like, I wish he didn't come into the studio. But thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Again, TJ Miller, Meticulously Ridiculous, premieres this Saturday, 10 p.m. on HBO.
Dan Le Batard.
I love the idea of Stugotz as a rapper. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Ja Fool.
Our headliner is not here by nature.
Stugotz.
I also like it as a Latin black act. Yeah, fool. Like, enough. Enough, fool. Yeah.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Round 2 of the U.S. Open is underway. Ricky Fowler is your leader. He's at 7 under par. He tees off just after 2:30. The Inglewood City Council unanimously approved an exclusive negotiating agreement with the L.A. Clippers on Thursday that could lead to the construction of an arena for the NBA team across the street from the future home of the NFL's Chargers and Rams. And finally, the world's most pierced man has revealed that he still has a great sex life despite having an incredible 278 piercings on his junk. 58-year-old Guinness World Record holder Rolf Buchholz has topped the charts for body adornments with a total of 453 metal piercings all over his body. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Guillermo, can you put this on the poll, please? Can you have more than a couple of piercings and not be a weirdo? Like more than 5? Or where do I need to put the number for people to think, okay, there's something with mutilation and everything else involved that's dangerous?
I think 5 seems like a fair number.
Where do I put the number?
Well, where are all the spots? Okay, ear, that's 2, very normal.
Nose, belly button.
The thing on the mouth.
I've got one in my navel. Yeah, tongue. Tim Duncan is reported to have one of those, although nobody's ever confirmed it, in the tongue.
Belly button rings were a weird trend for a while that I don't think you see that often anymore because they're kind of gross.
Like Dennis Rodman, I'm guessing, is north of 5 piercings.
So
right?
make it 5. Can you have more than 5 piercings and not be weird? Or make it 10. Go ahead and make it 10, so just to be safe. Now, Mina, during dinner last night, Stugotz, was telling me some things that had happened between you and her when she was doing the show, and she got real fired up about Kevin Durant at dinner. And I'm like, did you do that with Stugotz? And she's like, I didn't do that with Stugotz. I'm like, why didn't you do that with Stugotz?
First of all, wow, snitching. Secondly, I really thought our dinner was a safe
Leaky
space.
faucetard, man.
Sharing,
you can't tell them
sharing,
anything.
not snitching, sharing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll
all
learn,
right.
Mina. You'll learn.
Not to go full present on you, but it is snitching. I didn't say that I felt like I couldn't express myself. I said I felt like we had talked about Katie a lot, but maybe we were too much on the same page, which you would agree with, right?
Yes.
We were kind of mind melding a bit there.
Yep.
So that was my concern.
Hold on a second. All I was trying to do there before you accused me of snitching
was blow up your spot.
No, is to set you up to. I thought that what you were saying yesterday was the crystallized version of how people should view this KD thing. I hadn't heard it elsewhere, and I asked you whether you had told Stugotz, and you told me no, there was no snitching involved. I was just trying to lob up a softball for you to be at your best, is what I was trying to do.
Very nice of you.
That's how all snitches defend their snitching. But yes, I appreciate the softball. So we were talking about the KD, because when you and I were talking about this, it was more, what's the reaction going to be? And I was complaining to Dan because I said, right after it happened, I was immediately inundated with columns about how evil I was and how anti-player it was to complain about Kevin Durant or to be mean to him. And I was kind of disgusted by this because I feel like a large portion of the sports media, the enlightened, quote-unquote enlightened sports media, is misrepresenting what the debate is about, because nobody is saying that Kevin Durant is a bad person or that he shouldn't, be well within his rights to pursue something on behalf of himself. We're just saying the effect of that is that it's bad for basketball. And the analogy I was using is I don't object to anyone pursuing wealth and trying to make as much money as possible, but I want to live in a society where we tax those people. And that's kind of how I feel about Kevin. Do you in the system, but let's build a system where this doesn't happen because it's not fun for fans.
Right. I'm with you on that, and I like that idea. It's Kevin Durant, and I said this. First off, he appears to be a great guy. Secondly, you're right. He's entitled to go wherever he wants to go. But it stinks for me. So selfishly for me, for Mina, for NBA fans, what he did absolutely
I'm
stinks.
not interested in your opinion on this. You gave it 50, 100 million times.
Well, I mean,
a couple of weeks for a couple of weeks nonstop. I'm trying to get Mina's opinion on this.
Well, she stopped talking, so someone had to speak.
He also has changed. Your Kevin Durant appears to be a great guy. That's not the tune you were singing when Dan was out a week ago.
He's a lousy human being, but he is entitled to make any decision he wants to make, and I don't have to like it.
Now I'm
going to
snitch. Now I'm going to snitch.
No,
I'm going to do some real snitching. Now, since I've already been accused, I'm already smeared with this snitchery.
Anything he says is not true.
Okay. Well, he doesn't lie, Mina. That's the thing. And I've known him a lot longer. Dan does not lie. He doesn't lie. He's incapable of lying.
I don't lie either.
Yeah, but I've known him longer.
She says she doesn't lie. Didn't she lie to you about the movies? Didn't she lie about it just to fit in? Didn't she lie about seeing some movie?
She absolutely told me and Mike that she watched Point Break and then revealed to us weeks later that she has never seen Point Break.
The very sentence, "I don't lie," is a lie from you.
I'm pretty sure she didn't watch Office Christmas Party.
I did watch Office Christmas Party. It was on a plane.
Right. Never watched Silicon Valley.
Great movie.
You wept at the end of this?
I weep at the end of all films I watch on planes. I think there's science behind that. We're more likely to cry on planes when we watch movies.
That's true. I've read that too. I've read that true.
Really?
Also, yes.
What?
There's something atmospheric going on. No, well, the first part's not true. No, the first part's not true. That that everyone's crying at the end of movies on airplanes. But you are more likely to cry on an airplane in flight than you are to be because there's something that happens atmospherically that makes you
like your brain's under a lot of pressure.
Something. You're more likely to be emotional on an airplane than you are to be elsewhere.
I have found if you listen to Fleetwood Mac while a plane's taking off, you are guaranteed to cry.
All right, I've confirmed that.
Fleetwood Mac or the other one?
Both. It's quick work.
Landslide, just the tears.
Planes make us more emotional.
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
They really do.
You want to read some more information on that? Because I think people would find that interesting.
Well, right now I'm at a page with several Google search results that just say, why we cry on airplanes? Why do people cry more on airplanes? Why do people cry more on airplanes? Do people really cry more on airplanes? Do planes really make us more emotional?
Just questions. I hate that now. Whenever you Google a question, it's just pages that are a bunch of other people ask, like Yahoo Answers or Quora, and you can't actually find the answer to the question.
Let's get back to snitching.
I was really trying to.
I'm not sure.
I noticed.
I was a little bit confused as to how it is that you guys could have possibly had so much common ground on Kevin Durant, because Mina was explaining what I thought was well put, which is you can support his right to take a shortcut and do what is best for him and object to the idea that it makes your viewing experience less than. Those two things are allowed to coexist, but all the time in sports, what ends up happening, especially in sports debate culture, is we choose sides on these things, and it's never about both. It's about either or. We do that one all the time.
I care about me a lot more about myself than I do about Kevin Durant. So, no, those things cannot coexist for me. I'm sorry. They simply cannot, okay? Because I am selfish, and I care about me. I don't care about Kevin Durant. I care about my own entertainment, and I wasn't entertained this postseason. Sorry. And that's because of him. He's the reason.
How problematic do you see it going forward, Mina? Because this part I'm willing to concede, even as I support everything that Kevin Durant did and don't think that he has to do much of anything for me. I do think it's going to be problematic that no one's going to have a chance.
Problematic for us, yes. Of course it is. Of course it was problematic this season. It'll continue to be problematic. It doesn't change the fact that I have no personal issue, unlike you, I have no personal issue with him, and I resent being accused of that. I resent this. We talked about this last night, this sort of pro-player knee-jerk attitude that says if you're a pro-player, you have to support not only the player and what's best for them, but the net effect of their decisions. And I resent that because you don't. You can be a person who believes in agency and whatnot, while also saying this division stinks for me as a fan, and it's going to stink for a long time.
Stugotz, I'm curious about this. When did this change, Mike? Because I was talking to Mina about this. Mina's new to this particular game. I'm an old dinosaur in this particular game. And there was a time when I was writing newspaper columns that I felt really alone writing the pro athlete column. I was an apologist, a jock sniffer, a contrarian, every name I got called. And now what Mina's saying is the tide has shifted so much in sports journalism that there are too many people voicing the opinion that I'm voicing in the style that I'm voicing it in. And now she's pulling on the rope the other way, saying you guys are way too liberal apologizing for these player decisions. It doesn't make you anti-player and pro-management to be mad at Kevin Durant because he did this.
Yeah, we've actually covered this. You actually changed the tide, Dan.
Oh, right, I forgot.
I mean, just say what you want to say.
Yeah, that's right, this is great.
Pat on the back.
Oh, he did it again.
The reason why you're the age that
Here we
you
are.
and then all these younger people that you inspired are coming along, and they're like, if Dan can do it, I can do it.
Not all heroes wear capes.
The Pablos, the Minas. I mean, yes, they all owe it to you, man.
I appreciate everything you've done for me, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
What am I thanking you?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
You've taken me.
You should be thanking me more than anybody.
You've taken me for a hell of a ride. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
By the way, I'm more angry at management about this than the players because they created the situation. They agreed to this, and then the union was the one who agreed to the cap spiking, and it's their fault.
Well, this thing is interesting. This right here is interesting. What she's saying from this regard. Kevin Durant has taken the brunt of this criticism, and that's amazing that the people who put this structure together would have such a blind spot that they allowed this poison to exist in their system. No joke. Like what she's saying, they are skating free because it's faceless. It's not any one person that you can blame. So it's easier to put it on Kevin Durant than it is on the system that allows it.
But I'm sure when they put it together, they never imagined a player would be so gutless that he would leave the Oklahoma City Thunder and join a historic team.
No, this is the way that people are on the Kevin Durant issue, pro-management in a way that ends up being infuriating. There's no reason basketball should have a salary cap. They did that because they can't control themselves. And that's where your problems start on that. Like, they didn't do that for competitive balance. That's not why they did that. They did it because these owners can never control themselves when it comes to the spending.
I mean, it's the same thing to go back to the government analogy. We get mad at rich people who don't have to pay taxes when we should be mad at the system that allows them to get away with it. It's similar here. It's faceless.
That part's interesting to me because all those people skate on they've built a system that is going to harm their league over the next 5 years. And it's real easy to blame LeBron James and Kevin Durant for sort of snaking around the system without noticing that the system made for snakes.
Don Le Batard.
It's Friday. I'm getting into the weekend. I want to get my drink on.
Stugotz.
We've got to open up the club. Open it. Open it. Open it now. What is the computer buffering? There it is.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Mina Kimes going to do Highly Questionable with us today. She's getting better and better at the art of the take. She said that Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather is like Adele and Nas in a freestyle battle, which is a pretty good analogy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'd pay to see that, though.
I got a lot after we did that yesterday, I got a lot of angry UFC fighters in my mentions, who I will address later today, I think.
Nice.
But yeah, they were really upset.
Angry because they think that he
he has a chance.
I just saw a video of Conor McGregor sparring against a boxer, and all he did was eat gloves. Like he doesn't look like a boxer because he's not a boxer.
He's lowering the expectations. I told you that. It's a good strategy.
I have seen video of Adele doing Nicki Minaj's part from Kanye West's Monster, and Adele's got bars.
Really? Well, now I feel stupid.
Okay, so let's open up the club. This is how we send you into the weekend. Now, am I not going to recognize some of these sounds because I haven't been here all week? And by the way, I could get used to this whole schedule of 10 days off, 2 days on. If ESPN would like to renegotiate my deal, 10 days off, Baltic Sea, 2 days on.
Renegotiate it which way? Like
what word was that?
Renegotiate it which way, though? Because that means I have to do more work. So whatever you're leaving on the table, does that go to me? Because I'm willing to do this as well, and I'll renegotiate my deal. How does that work? I mean, listen, I want you to be here as much as possible. because
Open
I don't
up the
wanna
club.
Work that hard.
You gotta cut up. I want to hear at the end of this club. Stugotz trying to say the word renegotiate or whatever it is that he was trying to say. Cut it up, Guillermo. I want to hear it by the end of this segment. What were you trying to say? Was it renegotiate?
I was trying to say it. Yes, it did come out that way.
All right. The first sound in the club. Am I not going to recognize some of these sounds, Mike? Because some of the sounds are from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Let's go.
Do not with David West.
Yeah, do not bleep with David West. That's an eternal truth right there. I feel like I should find that in a fortune cookie. Open up a fortune cookie and it should say that, and I'd be like, "You are so wise, so wise." Go ahead. I didn't do that. That wasn't on purpose.
Right.
That was me.
Is that fine?
Slipping on my tongue. No, that might get me fired because it sounded like I was making.
Got him out here quick with the trophy, quickie.
That's Draymond Green, our beloved villainous Draymond Green. What else we got? We appreciate the time, sir.
I'm in love, my friend.
Much love.
Yeah.
Is that
much
weird?
love?
Mina, I told Mike Tyson much love. He said, love my friend, and I said much love, and these guys are making fun of me for saying much love.
Kind of a hippie thing.
Is it?
I'm in love, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Much love. I feel it's more of like a reggae thing, no?
Sounds like something you picked up in Europe, maybe.
Yeah, it's a reggae thing. I'm with that.
I put it on the poll, Guillermo. Much love. Is that a hippie thing or a reggae thing? Neither of which I should be partaking in, by the way.
The entire interaction was strange, to be honest with you.
Okay, very good. Who else?
This is TJ.
Mina,
Kevin.
Yeah, Mina will never do that again. The whole thing of limping in with, hello, TJ, this is Mina.
Mina, this is TJ.
Who else is in the club?
And finally, a man has died.
What was that about?
That's just Stugotz reading poorly, and sort of when he reads poorly, he sing-songs certain words, and those
man has died.
A man, and then has died. That was.
There was a lot more to the story.
No,
there wasn't more to the story.
Great inflection.
Who else is in the club?
Stu, POTUS is up in there.
That was Marty Smith on with us earlier this week before Dan came back from the Baltic Sea.
Marty Smith was in front of the White House, and Marty Smith said,
Stu, POTUS is up in there.
Sounding like a cartoon, rooster, cartoon moose? Who else is in the club?
I like living. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Bob Einstein, Super Dave Osborne won't come on the show, says it's cursed.
Right, because the curse. He's right.
And he says, I like living. It's my favorite thing to do. So he's not coming on the show anymore. Who else is in the club?
Boy, long time ago.
What is that?
That is me asking PJ Carlissimo if he's in the Mile High Club.
Boy, long time ago.
That's what it sounded like when I walked in on you in the bathroom that one time.
Wait a minute. What would it sound like if you were to walk in on PJ Carlissimo in mid-sex act in the Mile High Club? Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
You love sandwiches, huh?
Terrible.
You love sandwiches, huh?
How much, PJ, do you love sandwiches? Stugotz's interview question to Matt Bonner. That's how he started the interview with Matt Bonner.
You love sandwiches, huh?
That's what would happen if Stugotz was running the interviews.
You love sandwiches, huh? Can I start every interview with that question moving forward? Just for a week, can we experiment? I'd cut my own head off if I were bald. See if there's gold in there.
Where was that, in Zimbabwe, where people were cutting people's heads off, bald heads, because they thought there was gold in there?
Snark.
Who else in the club?
Renegotiate it which way? Renegotiate it which way?
Not that bad. You got close.
Renegotiate it which way? It's pretty bad, Mina.
Renoted?
He's a professional broadcaster. Yeah!
Stop!
Sentiment of the weekend!
No.
Yes!
Stop.
Yes! Yes! I think the
You love sandwiches, huh? Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, Stugotz, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Hardship. My grandmother would go through it every month to pay her insurance bill. First, she would handwrite a paper check in cursive. Then, using her own tongue, she would wet a stamp for an envelope. Today, however, we need not weary our hands and tongues. Today, we can pay our Geico bill with the Geico app. Away with hardship, in with bill pay on the Geico app. Thank you.